Let me show you how I get a little bit more out of my table saw table. So I always wanted a good table saw, cabinet saw like this. So when I found this one, I took a chance on it. Guy said it buzzed, it wouldn't run. So after a little bit of troubleshooting, I figured out that he had it wired wrong. I wired it to 220 like it's supposed to be, put a new cord on it, and took care of that. Then I started working on the mechanical, like this miter guide, put a new plastic bushing on it. I put a bolt in the fence that was missing and built some little wipers. And then I cleaned the saw up. So it worked pretty good. Put some sacrificial material over the fence, and then I built this little miter jig. So got me a push stick girl to keep me from cutting my fingers off, and a magnetic feather board. Still looking for a riving knife. That's one thing I haven't found. I may have to make one. The switch was a problem too. I didn't like it. It kind of rotated left and right. So I put this push button station on there. It's actually on with a magnet, but it gives me a mushroom head e-stop. All wires back into the contactor here. So what that's going to do with this big saw, it takes up a lot of real estate in the shop. So I got to thinking about it and decided that, hey, why don't I put me a stainless steel worktop on it? So I used a Dablo steel demon blade on the saw and cut this stainless steel tabletop. Works great. So then of course I used a piece of plywood, and that's where my big cutting mat goes. I used it on my table saw too. Still had to have another work table. So then I wanted to make some inserts. I wanted a zero clearance, which I made that first. It worked well. Then I made one for my router, my little palm router. And then I made one for my rotozip, which allows me to cut small things using the saw fence. A whole lot safer than using a big saw. So I use a foot switch with it for safety, and the saw's locked out. So when I got to the jigsaw, things are a little bit different. So I got the jigsaw set up on the plate. Lock the trigger. And then when I put it in the saw, I ran into an issue. I hit the foot switch, it wouldn't run. The light comes on, but the saw won't run with the trigger lock on. So I figured out that this is a safety feature that keeps you from plugging in the saw with the trigger locked and it taking off running. So it's a good safety feature, but kind of caused me a problem. I wanted to be able to use my foot switch. So I had to figure out how I could squeeze the trigger on the jigsaw while it's mounted in the table saw. So this is what I came up with. So the jigsaw cord and the pneumatic hose just feeds through the little slot on the table saw. Remember, the table saw is locked out. And of course this is squeezing the trigger. Pump it up more and it goes faster. I did have a problem with the trigger locking if I pumped it all the way up sometimes. So the problem was solved. I was ready to use my jigsaw now. And jigsaw works great with the saw table fence. It makes really good straight cuts. So one more time, don't forget the saw is locked out. Hey, y'all, thank y'all for watching.